Okay? Fireworks. When they make these marks, or you sort of thought, well, actually they look like fireworks, don't they? So I'll make them fireworks. So they became fireworks. So the mind, that's what the mind does. It creates these ideas of representation. Now, what you've been doing is you've been keeping information, or creating information, outside of your brain, outside of your mind, and you've been using your whole bodies to actually do that. And then you've been using a tool, charcoal. And the charcoal has changed to fit your body and the way you work and the way you operate. Okay? So very complex things are going on here, aren't they? Very complex things. What you thought was a simple operation, very simple, but a lot going on. So, what I'd like you to do now is to look at your sketchbook. Pick up your sketchbook. Yeah? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you up to the Viking era and the Celts, early Celts, and possibly a lot of Saxon influence here as well, and possibly some Roman thrown in there as well. And I'm going to help you to give your sketchbook a bit more power. Okay? Now I learned this from a guy called Tony G. Lovely guy who does performative arts projects with young people. He's really fantastic. He said the Vikings, what they did was they had swords, and they had weapons, and they had these special things. They had special things that they needed to use as tools. So what they did was they named them. And it was called kenning. Kenning. K-E-N-N-I-N-G. I've lost my mind. There it is. Kenning. We are going to cover an awful lot in 3 hours. And I don't want to burn and fry people's minds and things, but so if you feel you want to take a break, just take a break out and feel safe with doing that, okay? But here's the sketchbook. And it's your sketchbook, so what I'd like you to do is write your name in it. And then with kenning, what they did with swords, they named them like sword, thunder sword. Thunder sword gave it more power than actually the sword itself by naming it. So what I'd like you to do is put your name in it and a date. Yeah? Lord of the Rings, in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, he names, what is it called?
Sting.
Sting. Sting. And why was it called Sting? Well, it did glow in the dark as well when elves were around, didn't it? Or when goblins were around, or orcs. But also it had a sting to it. It felt like, like a wasp sting can really sting. So it was named Sting. What I'd like you to do is just, for your own purposes, name your sketchbook. Call it something. Call it, whatever you'd like. Conjure up from your imagination, from the world of imagination, what is your sketchbook going to be called? And I'd like you to name it. And just write the name under your own name. Yeah?